If parody humor offends you, then you can't blame me if you get mad over it. By continuing to watch this video, you are agreeing that you are not a little whiny baby bitch. Don't disappoint me like you disappointed your mother.
Hey, what's up everybody? It's JayViper here. Thank you so much for swinging by another video. Today we're going to be talking about a very serious situation that's going on in the creator space. There are two creators right now that a lot of people are basically labeling as grifters. Now, it's because of their outrageous stance on a few recent games, and although I, like many others, feel like the actions that they've been taking are really damaging the work that we've been doing and a lot of the groundwork others have done, I think there's something more below the surface that is actually going on here that we're going to get into. They're acting more like woke left creators than base creators right now. So it's not going to surprise you that I'm talking about, of course, John Della Rose and Yorch Torch Gaming. But the conclusion that I've come to might not be what you're expecting. I'm going to explain to you why these two really just need to get down to it and kiss already.
JayViper is awesome. He's so good looking. He's got the crown in all.
Now, to understand this entire scenario, I feel like we have to roll it back a little bit, back to the beginning of Goonergate, when it first really started kicking up early December. So these two were seemingly on opposite sides of Goonergate, where you had JDA, who was more in support of the censorship of what we could see in games and covering women and things like that, where Yorch been sad a bit, but also seemingly more along the lines of free market and let people's wallets speak for themselves. So then that whole situation kind of died down a little bit. But later in January, on the 21st, John Della Rose was exposed by Madam Savvy as a closet furry. And of course, the internet lit on fire in the creator space as people were blown away by the revelation that this was happening. And of course, post after post after post exposing him as what he was shown. And well, a lot of people had fun with that. The interesting thing here is that that didn't really scare away Yorch Torch and make it so he didn't want to work with them. In fact, only 10 days later, Yorch Torch joined Fandom Pulse, run by John Della Rose, as a contributor. I do wonder if the Lucario was the signal to Yorch that this was the place for him. Now, like Romeo and Juliet, this is the modern day Montagues and Capulets. It's why history is so important, because it allows you to recognize these things. Think of it as one of the red flags we see in woke games. This is one. Why would Yorch go work at Fandom Pulse unless there was something there for him? And in this case, John Della Rose in a furry outfit. And for anyone who wants to know what Fandom Pulse is and you don't know, I'll explain it real quick. It's basically a pseudo gaming website run by people who don't actually play games. I know that sounds a little crazy, but it happens all the time, I guess. So not much time actually went by when Fandom Pulse set their sights on Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Now, this is important. They used a codex from the first game to attribute to Hans in the game being underage. And a lot of people, including myself, were quickly tricked in the beginning. It wasn't a day that went by that the codex wasn't debunked, that the fact that it was about the real life people and it wasn't the in-game people. And then myself, I even went inside the game and found in-game evidence in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 that Hans was of age and was an adult. Now, most places would issue a correction, but not them. They dug in. Now, it isn't the fact that they dug in, it's why they dug in. And to know why, we have to keep on digging, because it has a lot to do why these two should, of course, kiss already. Important note, I also want to point out that this picture was posted by John Della Rose many, many times. I like to refer to this photo as foreshadowing. So at first I thought these two have to be grifting. Like, how else can you continue pushing this information on a news site and on X? But I was wrong. They weren't grifting. It goes deeper than that. It was denial. Not denial over the game, denial against their true selves. You see, you have to understand that John Della Rose was getting absolutely felted time and time again by Daniel Vavra, who is the game director for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And deep down, I think John Della Rose realized that he really liked being dominated by a man. Why else would you go back again and again and again and again and again? But it didn't stop there, okay? Even though they continued with this, even after all the felting, they went back for more. Lately, they've been taking aim at Split Fiction, claiming it as feminist woke slop propaganda. And of course, leading that one up is Yorch Torch Games, because it's his turn, I guess. With Yorch making daily posts about it, claiming that it's feminist due to things like bonding in a co-op game, and of course saying that Joseph Ferris had an emotional outburst when he was asked about it being feminist propaganda. You tell me if this sounds like an emotional outburst.
Another feminism propaganda. So what the fuck is this? I guess that somebody are reacting that there are two women. Let me say this. In Brothers, there were two guys. In A Way Out, there were two guys. In It Takes Two, there were one guy, one woman. And now there are two girls and everybody's complaining. Come on, man. I mean, let's face it, man. And it's also like based on my daughters. I don't care what you have between your legs. That's totally not interesting for me. Good characters is what's important.
Now, after seeing that, you know that that's made up nonsense. But this is what I think, my continued revelation about this whole situation. They see themselves inside this game. They see their passion, they see their desires, and they see their sin.
Repent or burn in hell!
By attacking other people that are friends playing this game, what they're really doing is they're denying their true feelings for each other, because bubbling beneath the surface lays their own wants and needs. These are aroused when seeing two women on screen together. Creating claims with low-res posts to paint a character as ugly clearly helps them cope with their predicament. This becomes clear since it's so easy to look up what Mio and Zoe actually look like, actual women. It's clear they haven't been treated like K-Vests, so once again, I thought this was grifting. But as we have discovered throughout this video, it isn't grifting at all. It's them fighting against their feelings for one another. Perhaps in the near future, they'll come to terms with this, and maybe even do it out in the open for all to see. Or maybe they'll just break off the relationship and not give themselves a chance. Only time will tell. My message to these two would be, you don't have to fight it. You don't have to keep covering your tracks by making up games to hate on for no real reason. There's plenty of actual woke games, developers, and studios that you can focus your actual attention on. Stop finding reasons to deny your feelings for each other, and at the same time denying yourselves access to good games that you could be playing. Even if you don't play them anyway, at least give yourself the option to play these games. And I think we should all really support them, because this is what I know. Love like this is beautiful, and we should support it. Not the website, that's a pile of garbage. But the bond of two people finding each other, I believe that's something we can all support.